助けてほしいかナナに。心を燃やせ。限界を超えろ。
Hello and welcome to More Than Headlines, your weekly anime news podcast powered by Audio Technica, made by Australians for global citizens. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White, aka the Salt and Pepper Senpai, and joining me in the studio today, my trusted co-host and rival, the Gigi to my Okarun, Mrs. Courtney Smith. How the bloody hell are ya?
Yahoo, Momo-chan. I'm good. How are you?
I am a lot better now that you just fully embrace the Gigi way of life, and I want you to talk like that most of the time from now on, please.
Okay. I'm kidding. That would be so obnoxious, but it is fun, not gonna lie.
It is very fun, and yeah, Gigi is very fun. We'll talk more about him in short order, I am sure. But yeah, we are recording episode 28. It is Sunday, the 15th of December. Christmas is 10 goddamn days away, Courtney. What the hell?
I know. I'm so excited though, because Christmas time for me is just about food. That's like, now that I'm older and I don't really care so much about gifts, all I want to do is spend time with my family and have a quiet day and eat lots of yummy food, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. What about you?
I'm doing similar. Like my family's pretty separated and spread out across the countryside, so my sister and I are going to do more of just a sibling Christmas feast on Christmas Day, and then she's getting up to Queensland to see my mum, and I'm trying to get up there during the sort of 2 weeks I've got off work, but we'll see. But yeah, plenty of eating. Holiday season is made for overconsumption, and yeah, I think the food at Christmas time is just great. You know, your seafood, your ham, your chicken, all that good stuff. Like, have you got a dish that you crave more than others on Christmas Day? Like, have you got like a goat level dish on Christmas?
I do, and here's the thing, I haven't had it for a few years, and I probably won't for a few years more. So my family, they're all immigrants from England, so we have a very, very British Christmas lunch, which is like hot roast chicken, roast turkey, roast ham, roast pork, and then like lots of salads and roast veggies. And I think the thing I miss most is putting all of those things on my plate, getting the biggest bread roll I can find and like jamming it in to make a huge Christmas sandwich.
Now I'm thinking about giant Christmas sandwiches. Why can't you have that? You could get it going in the kitchen. You and Dan could cook some ham and chicken and turkey and salads and get some nice soft bread rolls from Baker's Delight.
That's true. Dan loves to cook a ham on Christmas. So we're doing the leg of ham, but we only usually do a few sides. But the best thing that Dan makes is a cheesy cauliflower broccoli bake. That is my favorite. What about you?
I'm a sucker for a good ham, like the same thing too, like the leftover sandwiches, especially if you've got like the assortment of roast meats, like having that roast meat the next day on some soft bread or a soft bun with gravy. Like there's just something simple about meat, bread, butter, and gravy. I think it's one of my favorite little flavor combinations, so I'm excited for that. But also, like, I love the good fresh prawn as well. The peeling it, you can give or take that depending on what you're into, but fresh prawn into a bit of Thousand Island sauce, into the gob, like, let's go.
See, that for me, that was never something I experienced until I moved to Sydney and I was away from my family, because we never had the fresh prawns. That's a very, very Australian thing. We never even had pavlova. So it was just not something I was exposed to until I moved to Sydney, and now I'm like, oh my God, you guys, like, it's so summery. I love it.
Yeah, I think like I've had the winter Christmases and it is a different vibe. It's a good vibe, but I think I prefer the summertime Christmas, like the sunshine, the cliched backyard cricket with all the family and the neighbors and all that other nonsense, and then just, eating until your, button on your pants nearly pops off. So, Christmas is nearly upon us, and so is like the end of season 1 of More Than Headlines. Like we're here, episode 28. Come the end of this season, we're going to be 30 episodes in the can before we take a cheeky little break and come back early January. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's it. So just for everyone playing at home, we have our lineup. So we've got this episode, which will be a slightly shorter one, before we wind up into our seasonal review episode and our upcoming season episode where we go over what we're going to be watching. But we're almost at the end.
yeah, it's I guess all good things must come to an end, as they say, but like that's a temporary end because we'll be back in the new year, bigger, better, badder, faster, stronger, every other cliche and adjective you can think of there. But I'm looking forward to doing our fall recap episode and then looking into our winter/Aussie summer preview for our hyped for 2025, because there is some big dogs straight off the bat in January. Like, it's going to be a good time. All right, let's jump into what we always do here and jump into the news.
You like the news?
All right, headline number one, Courtney, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so this headline is pretty meaty and we really wanted to give it a lot of air. So we're going to be starting with some online discourse, which is a young Dandadan fan drew some fan art of Momo and Ken as black. And when the English voice actors for Okarun and Muko, so Momo's friend, who are both also black, changed their Twitter profile pictures to the fan art, people were not happy.
Yeah, supposed Dandadan fans expressed outrage at the art, claiming that it was promoting, in parentheses, blackwashing and Asian erasure. Between all of this, the artist locked their social media account, while AJ Beckles, Okaruan's voice actor, completely deactivated his own Twitter account.
So I have loads to say about this, and I was following this discourse kind of as it was unfolding in front of me. First of all, I'm so sad for the artist, for AJ, for Anaris, and the black community for having to deal with all of this hatred, because a lot of it all went down on Twitter, which, as we know at the moment, is full of people who, really are, to put it simply, white supremacists. And when it comes to drawing white or even Asian characters as black or other races, it's never about trying to erase other cultures. It's about seeing representation, because we all deserve to see ourselves represented in media. It's just fun. And as a white woman, I'm really fortunate that I do get this a lot. I do get to see myself represented. Even with anime, even though the characters might not be white, they are light-skinned, which can easily be seen as white representation. So black fan art like this never comes from a place of malice. And it's not for white people. It's for black people and the communities that they're in.
I agree with everything you just said there, 1000%, and just sort of reflecting out to the masses, especially on Twitter, because it is just a magnet for shitheads and racists and just the worst kinds of people. Like, join us on Blue Sky instead. It seems to be the much nicer platform. But just don't be like this. Like, stop with the racism and stop with the completely unjustified sense of entitlement that people seem to have over these franchises and these IP from anime, film, video game, books, etc., where because a character is getting a type of fan art done for them, like they see that as almost like a shot, or it's disrespectful to the source material. Like, it's not like that at all. And just be thankful that original content exists in the first place, first and foremost, but also like think about what fan art is and take it for exactly that. Like, fan art is art that is made in appreciation of a world and characters that artist loves, and they love them enough to want to honor them and pay homage to them in their own way, like reimagine them be a race or a nationality that's more relatable to the artist in question, or for a community. Like, it's great because it's not only spotlighting this fantastic content, but also making it more relatable in its own way. Like, it's not taking away from the source material or making it less than or anything like that. Like, put your pitchforks away, put your flaming torches away, and just appreciate it for what it is. Like, this does not and should not cause any form of outrage, in my opinion. Like, art is art. You appreciate it, you respect it. If you don't get it, shut up and move on. Art's always different person by person, but it should never be consistent in this way that creates this type of racial backlash towards this poor artist. And then, like the voice actors behind some of these characters as well. Like, we've got no time for this. We've got no place for this. If you're going to be like this, then, get to step and get out of here. We've got no time for you, please. And thank you. Leave that toxicity at the door and just try and go about your life, right?
I, especially in this kind of time and among this discourse, I really want to shout out one of my favorite anime journalists of all time, Isaiah Colbert. They wrote for Kotaku. They were the anime journalist in Kotaku US. I really respect their work, but they wrote 2 articles that kind of came out of this discourse. One on Kotaku, where they interviewed a bunch of Black voice actors for anime and kind of discussed how they go through so much to get to where they are, because, you know, because they're not white, they don't start on the same foot as white people. They are already discriminated against. It's hard for them to get into the industry. It's hard for them to stay in the industry. The fact that they get hate from supporting people drawing Black fan art is, you know, it adds to it. It's, you know, it's gross. So they wrote that article, but then they also wrote an article on Gizmodo explaining all of this discourse, and Isaiah fully calls out all of the racists being awful people on Twitter to this artist who claims they're 16 years old, by the way. Like, this is a child that people are bullying. So I just shout out to Isaiah for, you know, doing this hard work, even though, you know, really we shouldn't have to be making these statements and calling this stuff out.
No, like, this should not be a thing. Like, this young artist should be celebrated for reimagining these beloved characters and giving them a new spin and a new light. Like, it is spotlighting different races and different nationalities. Instead, yeah, we've got just the angry mob looking for a reason to get angry, and they're like, oh my god, Okaru's skin color is slightly darker than in the anime or in the manga. Get them. Like, come on. It does not change your day-to-day. Like, keep your head down and embrace and appreciate the art for what it is. And yeah, keep your racist opinions to yourself, but also get rid of your goddamn racist opinions. Like, there's no place for that type of shit in 2024 and beyond. Like, just be better.
And I will say, I feel like in the US specifically, like when I was in Hong Kong for the Jujutsu Kaisen press event, I spoke with a lot of African Americans and just people from the US who understood the culture a lot more than I did. And they were like, yeah, anime in the US is a very Black cultural kind of phenomenon, because Black people can relate so much to those characters and their struggles. And I was like, that's really, really great insight. And I think we really need to remember that anime is such a huge part of the Black community. Like, look at Megan Thee Stallion, right? Like, she really sings the praises of these fandoms. So I think we can't be separating the two.
We really can't. Like, funnily enough, like the episode we just released on More Than Hentai was on Gintama, and I had Shad on the episode with me, and he runs his own podcast outlet called The Side Quest Hustle, and it's focused on Black nerd culture, or blurred culture as they call it, and just getting his insight and his impressions and his thoughts on how it all comes to be and how that sort of helped shape the person he was really insightful for me as well. So yeah, just settle down with this nonsense. Like, this medium is for everybody, irrespective of age, sex, nationality, historical background, what you do for work, what you eat for dinner. Like, it does not matter. Like, just appreciate anime for what it is and get out of here with your bigotry and your racism, because there's no place for that in 2024 and into 2025.
Also, Japan do better.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the next headline though. So I'm doing a mini review of Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim.
Rohirrim, yeah. Got there. Nailed it.
Yeah. So I wasn't invited. I was a +1, but I had the privilege of seeing the new anime film directed by Kenji Kamiyama, who directed Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex and Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit, both really well-received anime films. So I went, and it was like a premiere basically, and they had all of these photo ops set up. It was really, really cool. They had influencers, they had cosplayers. It was so full of people. There was like a line coming out of the cinema. It was amazing. And they had this big chair with these like kind of cardboard cutouts of the characters, and you could sit in the chair and like hold a sword. It was a very, very fun event. But for the film itself, I wish I knew more about Lord of the Rings. So the synopsis is that there's Wolf, he's one of the characters. He forces Helm Hammerhand, who's the king of the area, Rohan, unsure, and his people he kind of forces them into a stronghold. And then his daughter, Helm's daughter, she is like, listen to me, Dad. Like, it's dangerous to go. Don't go. And then the dad ignores her. And the daughter, Hedda, she kind of has all of this intel and she tries to protect the stronghold and the people in it and the town. And it's just a lot of interpersonal drama. There's a lot of tea in this movie. But do you know much about Lord of the Rings, Brendan?
I know a good amount. Like, I am no Tolkien lore historian, second degree, but I frequent the Tolkien universe and watch all their content, have read the books, etc., etc. And I know that this film is set 183 years prior to the Lord of the Rings original trilogy, so it is going back a little bit before that. Obviously, it's set thousands of years after the most recent Rings of Power adaptation that's kicking around on Amazon as well, which is now 2 seasons down. Second season kind of poo, but that's neither here nor there. But this, like, the War of Rohirrim, like, it looks good from the trailer perspective. It's got some heavy hitters like Brian Cox as Helm. Like, he's got a voice that just adds so much weight and levity to anything he does. So, like, having him and Miranda Otto in the voice cast is awesome. It seems to be, like you said, very deep on lore and sort of nods to the previous films, or I guess the soon-to-be films, as far as some little Easter eggs and some strategic placements of characters and things. So if you aren't as invested in Lord of the Rings as others, I think a lot of that, from what I've read from some spoiler-free reviews, it will sort of go over your head. It's more aimed at the purists and the super fans. So that's a bit of a misstep. I know it also goes for a long time. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something. Like, it's a long runtime. Yeah.
So first of all, I'll address your first comment about it being for purists. 100% correct. As someone who's only seen the films, I've seen all of the movies and the spin-offs, but I've only read the first book, and it's fun. I like the world, but I've never really been inclined to explore deeper. So I really went into this as an anime fan more than a Lord of the Rings fan. And from that perspective, it was fine. I felt the pacing was a bit all over the place. Like you said, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. So the fact that while this is a really long runtime, it felt like they couldn't quite fit everything in. And the reason they did that is because there is a 40-minute long battle scene. And you could kind of tell that they used all of their budget on this battle scene because the battle looked phenomenal. Like, it looked amazing. But because of that, I think the budget didn't go to the setup or, telling the story of Hedda, who is a woman that knows she'll never really be recognized for her efforts in this kingdom because she's a woman, basically. So essentially, Hedda is the main character. Her story is really cool. I like that, she's the king's daughter, but, because she's a woman, she won't really get recognition. So she tries to do things her own way. She doesn't want to get married off. She doesn't want to take up this kind of like princess mantle. She wants to go out and research animals and explore the land because she knows there's nothing for her otherwise. So I really like that. The characters are great. I think it's just this pacing where it really struggles. Like, I wanted to see more of her. Like, a 40-minute battle scene is a bit excessive.
Yeah, like, that is Peter Jackson's MO. He loves a big epic battle scene, and he was he played a part in the writing and development of this film, and he also had Philippa Boyens, who actually co-wrote the original trilogy with Peter Jackson involved with Rohirrim as well. So I guess there is that same connective tissue and maybe same paint by numbers formula they have, where it's like build up, big battle, the end, or whatever else. So
yeah,
we do get that Two Towers and Return of the King type of vibe where it's just building up to a big battle. But yeah, 40 minutes for one set piece, like that's it sounds like if it's going to be close to what they did in the films, like it'll be a visual feast and awesome to see.
Yeah.
But does it run, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes too long maybe? Like that's a long time for a fight to play out.
Honestly, it looks amazing. Like the animation, you could tell as soon as this battle started, the animation just kicked up to 10. And I was so shocked because this whole time, like I'd been watching it, like the first 3/4 of the movie, I was like kind of sitting there thinking, oh, the animation doesn't look great. Like the CGI looked better than the 2D animation. I was like, this is a bit concerning. So I was very curious, but as soon as the battle started, I realized, I was like, oh, all of the budget went into making this battle look fantastic, and it did. It was gorgeous, but it did go on for a very, very long time, and I was almost kind of sad. Like I wanted them to kind of cut that battle in half, spend more of the budget on other parts and fleshing out more of the characters, because you're kind of like dumped in the middle of Rohan and this king and what he's doing and his daughter, and you know, there's not really much context for anything else. But at the end, Sauron shows up. Not Sauron. Who's the...
Saruman?
Saruman. That's the guy. Not Sauron. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Saruman shows up, which is really cool. But then in the end, they also mention Gandalf. And I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah, two wizards that have been around a long time. And I like as well, they got a permission from the Christopher Lee estate to get his vocal tracks lent to the film, and because he does have such a presence and he's got such a vocal delivery too. Like Christopher Lee is, you know, one of the heavyweights of Hollywood cinema. So it's nice to see they respected that source material, or at least his performances in the upcoming live action trilogy, if we're going on the timeline here. But yeah, it sucks because I think one of the things I really enjoy with Lord of the Rings and all the live action stuff they've done is those quieter moments where you do get backstory and exposition about characters and who they are and how they came to be. Like don't get me wrong, the battles, like the battle for Helm's Deep, holy fucking shit, it's one of the coolest things in cinema history. But I also like getting context over the characters and who they are and why they're doing these things. And it's a shame that in a 2-hour and 20-minute runtime we didn't get much of that by the sounds of things in Rohirrim.
Yeah, there were definitely some of those quiet moments and some funny moments that were a bit lighthearted, and it was really, really nice. I just wish there were more of those, because for me, Lord of the Rings, especially after I read the first book, I was like, I like the book because it's so slow. Mm-hmm. It's a leisurely walk. That's what reading the book is like, and I really liked that from it. Whereas the movies, like, they are quite action focused, and you know, I'm not a huge action battle fan. So I do enjoy the quieter moments, and I wish there was more of that in this. In saying that though, I think if you are a Lord of the Rings fan, I think you will be able to appreciate it more than I did. I went with Steph Panicasio, and she said it was good. She enjoyed it. The animation, she agreed, was maybe a little janky in some places, but as a Lord of the Rings anime movie, it was good.
Okay, that's good to know. Like, it is disappointing regarding the animation being a bit subpar. Like, you know, New Line Cinema, monster. Warner Brothers Animation, monster. Solar Entertainment tied in with Wingnut Films, which is Peter Jackson's offshoot, that are, you know, savants in digital animation. You know, they've done so much over the years, and then Domain Entertainment as well. Like, so they've got some pedigree there. But like you said, it sounds like that $30 million budget was invested heavily into that battle scene.
Yeah. So honestly, if you love Lord of the Rings and you know everything about it, I recommend you watch this, because I think you'll see this story that maybe you already know about or you don't know about, told in a different medium, which I think is cool. I think it's cool that they're expanding and adding things like anime to the universe. If you aren't a Lord of the Rings fan, instead an anime fan, I think you can probably give this one a miss.
That's sad. I'm going to check it out eventually. I don't know if I want to rush to the cinema to see it, like, because a lot of the reviews out there are very lukewarm, are like 6 out of 10s and stuff. And you're like, you know what? $60 to go to the movies by the time you get your popcorn and your drink is a big investment for a movie that you're going to walk out going, So maybe I'll
Yeah.
wait for it to like land on one of the streamers eventually. Like I'm assuming it's going to land on Amazon because they seem to
Yeah, I
have
think
the
so.
Tolkien estate tied up in there. So it'll be on there soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah, honestly, watch it at home, have a few drinks, have a bit of a laugh. It's fine. It's a good time. Fun to hang out with your friends and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love that. All right, rapid fire. What do we got?
All right, so we've got a few things here. First of all, Solo Leveling won an Astro TV award for the best anime series, and Alex Lay was the one that went and collected the trophy, which was very cute to see.
Yeah, friend of the show, doing very well, picking up awards left, right, and center for his work. And it was awesome to see. Like, Solo Leveling is phenomenal. I went and watched it in the cinema this past week with a friend of mine. We had a great time, and it was really exciting and emotional watching it in the cinema. But it was surprising for me because it was the Japanese, like it was the sub version in the cinema.
Oh.
Where I, with the screener I watched, I got to watch the English dub. So I got to hear Alex doing all his thing. Yeah, went to Hoyt's during the week, and yeah, I copped the Japanese version, which was fine. It gave me a different perspective of it. But I was just hyped up to see more of Alex and his handiwork. But yeah, like it was the thing with this award, best anime series. It's a bit weird in patches, I think here, Courtney. Like some of the other titles that made this short list, like Ninja Kamui, it was fine, like violent, very stylized, award winner and nominee. No way in hell. Like Pluto, yeah, I agree with that. Scott Pilgrim takes off, maybe not. And Blue Eye Samurai, awesome, but it was actually done by a French studio. So do you want to get technical where if we're just going to say anime is in animation, or we're going to say Western animation? So there's some things there that I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, I do wonder kind of how they're judging this because, you know, Freerun being on the nominee list, I'm like, I definitely have my preference, but I'm wondering what the criteria is for winning the award. In saying that, I did see Alex social post about it and just saw how stoked he was. He was like, yeah, I was in a room full of celebrities and they're so high profile. And then there was me. I was like, Alex, you have no idea. Very cute.
It's like a kid in a candy store for him. It was good to see. And like, I guess because this is tied into the critics that are behind this, the Hollywood Creative Alliance, so maybe they're just not up to date with all the main anime. Like, yeah, Freerun would have won this with a bullet for me. Solo Leveling definitely number 2, but like Scott Pilgrim and Ninja Kamui on this list, like, what are you doing, Hollywood Creative Alliance? Like, be better. But no, I don't just besmirch the winner here because yeah, Solo Leveling is great and he's great.
Yes, well deserved.
Yeah.
The next one is that Sakamoto Days is getting a smartphone game in spring next year, which is exciting, though I am a little worried because I feel like a lot of anime have been getting smartphone games and they're these kind of like gacha battle games, but we'll see. It is only being released in Japan so far, though.
Yeah, like it leads me to not be as worried because it doesn't seem as predatory as some, because it is tied into more puzzles instead of, I guess, the typical gacha fare. But there is mentioning of a Sakamoto store, which is probably where you're going to be, dropping those dollars or those yen to get all the skins and the characters, because it is a very big world. It is a very big character-laden world. So there's going to be a lot of money to be made off this, I am sure. I'm happy for it. Will I play it? Probably not, or if I do, I'll play it for like 5 minutes if it does ever get a local release, because that's how I sort of am with with mobile games. But it just shows, I guess, the hype train behind Sakamoto Days, the fact that they're making a game before the anime has even released. Like, get ready because this is going to be one of the hits of 2025.
Yes, and speaking of anime game adaptations, Hunter x Hunter is getting a fighting game called Nen Impact. The game is going to be launching for PS5, Switch, and Steam in 2025 and is a fighting game.
Yeah, so 3v3 with the various characters from the Hunter x Hunter universe. I'm a bit annoyed as a mostly Xbox player, the fact that it doesn't get a sniff here. Like, I'm assuming maybe Sony had some nice strategic extra large buckets of money to throw to the developers for a time-based exclusivity deal here. But I'm curious to see what happens here. And, if I can sort of partner up, Killua and Hisoka and maybe Bisky into a nice trio to kick ass, cool. But yeah, it's not going to be a day one cop for me, but it does look nice from the trailer at least. It looks like it could be fun.
It does. That's all of the rapid fire news. Thank you, Otaku Box. And let's talk about what we have been watching this week.
Yeah. Do you want to start off or do you want me to start off?
All right, I'll start off, as is my right, as I do every episode. So Orb episode 9, so Orb on the Movements of the Earth. I just watched episode 9 and I'm really not feeling it anymore, and I haven't for a little while. It's very slow and it's still slated for 25 episodes and it's a lot.
Yeah, I think at episode 6 now, and same thing, like I'm caring less and less, which is a shame because it is gorgeously animated, and there was parts in those first few episodes that really excited me and interested me and intrigued me, but I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm off the Orb wagon. Like I'll try and keep persisting and pushing, but knowing that I've got nearly 20 more episodes to work through to get to a conclusion makes me feel a little sick.
I think the one thing that I do like about this series is that it is going through multiple people's lives and lifetimes. Like, we started back, I don't know how many centuries ago, but now we've gone through like a couple of generations, and, where we are currently, we're seeing this girl. She's the first kind of woman scholar who's kind of exploring heliocentrism, which is interesting. It's interesting to see how she's perceived as a woman who can read and study and is interested in something that is not necessarily something that the church doesn't like. So that's an interesting perspective. And it's those things I think that keep me interested, is seeing who the next person will be to take up this mantle of studying heliocentrism.
Not for me, dog.
Yeah, look, honestly, fair. It is very dry, I will say. But something that isn't dry that I've been enjoying is Blue Box. I just watched episode 9 last night. This is the episode where Taiki gets sick. So he didn't make it to nationals, but Chinatsu did. But he gets sick and she takes care of him. I will say though, so there's the scene where she brings him some food and he's like, no, go away. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I actually want to talk to you because we haven't really spoken since we've had nationals and training and tests. So let's sit down and have a moment. I was like, this is really sweet. Like, he's not well. And, obviously she doesn't want to get sick, but she cares about him.
Yeah,
so
makes him some delicious soup and gets a little compress for his head. And she's looking after him. She cares.
Yeah, so we get this sweet moment, but she sees that he's written his goal on the wall. Like, everyone on his sports team has written a goal. And he wrote improving his smashes as his goal. And she was like, why didn't you write going to nationals? And I was so mad because, all right, she tells him, he's like, what? She's like, I just prefer someone that has like a loftier goal. And I was like, girl, what? Stop. But his current goal is literally so he can go to nationals, so he can improve and go. And his goal is a SMART goal. Like SMART goal. It's, wait, what's the S stand for?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Okay, you don't know about SMART? Hold on, I need to explain this now. Okay, so SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, okay? So his goal, like, if you say my goal is going to nationals, what does that mean, right? That's so broad and vague. But his goal is specific. It's something he can work on to get to nationals. It's measurable. He can see himself improving. It's achievable because once you have improved your smashes enough, then you've done it. It's relevant because it helps him improve at the sport. And it's time-bound because he needs to do it before nationals. So look, I think he's the only one in this anime with a truly achievable goal, and she goes and convinces him to change his goal. And I'm just frustrated at her.
I think it's more so too that she's saying, hey, don't settle. Like, it's fine to have lofty goals. It's fine to have lofty ambition. And because that's all he's been talking about up until this moment is nationals. And he's had that one bump in the road, and now he's like, I'm just going to work on my smash. And I completely agree. Like, that is a smart goal, as you just mentioned. Like, it will be a building block to hopefully get him to nationals. But I feel she was just like saying, as in, like, she was just disheartened, going like, how can you go from I'm all in, nationals is the goal, to hitting that one speed bump and now taking a big step back? So I think it's her way of sort of saying, Taiki, no, like, it's fine to dream big. Like, dream big, nationals is the goal. This is a piece of that goal to get you there. But like, yeah, it's fine to have lofty expectations. It's fine to chase the big goal and the big ambition.
I just think when he's sick, it's not the time. Okay? Girl, do better.
They do, like the way that episode ends with that cute little moment where, he goes to stand up to take the empty soup bowl out and gets a bit lightheaded, falls onto the bed. She falls with him. Like, it's like, whoa, mama. Like, hearts were fluttering.
She's going to get sick.
I'm not saying nothing. All right. Not saying nothing.
All right. What have you been watching?
I wanted to firstly shout out All Guys Mixer. We found out before we started recording that now I am past where Courtney is on this anime. So I'm fully caught up. I watched all of, like, I think I watched from like episode 3 through to episode 10 or 11 yesterday. So good. So good. The comedy, the romance, the animation, especially when we do see a lot of the chibi style animation when they're showing little emotional moments or interactions. Like, chef's kiss. Love this world. Love these characters. Fuji and Asagi, I think, are my favorites.
Oh, they're the best.
Asagi, like, he's just the embodiment of a human puppy dog. Like, and I love that we even get the moment where Fuji puts the dog collar on him and leads him around the convention. Like, it is so funny and so cheeky without getting into like smutty, like uncomfortable awkwardness. Like, it teeters on that edge where it could fully lean into it, but it doesn't. It's got a lot of restraint. But I really like all three romantic relationships that are developing. I really enjoyed, the scenes where they go away on the camping trip, and there's the confusion where we see Hagi at home and Kohaku comes around with the cake for missing the sweets festival, and then misinterprets that his sister is like, she thought his sister was his girlfriend, and like, it's funny, it's real, it's relatable, it's gorgeous to watch, and the soundtrack that accompanies it too is all like top tier. Like, it's top 5 for the season for me, for sure. Yeah,
definitely. I just remember watching it every week and thinking, I love this show. And I was like, I wish I could talk to someone about it. And I was like, wait, Brendan, watch this show.
Yeah, I'm happy that the persistence paid off, and after you hyping it up over the last couple of months, it's really grabbed me, and I've got no regrets. Like, it is one of the surprise packets of the fall season. 100%.
100%. Yeah. High Dive, great job bagging this little gem, the diamond in the rough.
Yeah, they just find winners, constantly. High Dive have some fantastic gems in that jewelry box. Something else that I feel is fantastic, let this grieving soul retire. Yes, it is. Feels like surface level dime a dozen fantasy. I think when we talked about it with our fall preview, I'm like, I'm going to watch it, but it's probably going to be shitty. It's not shitty. It's really, really good. It's not a 10 out of 10 award winner, not going to get nominated by the Hollywood Critics Association or whatever, like Solo Leveling earlier, but it's just been really fun and really funny as well, which surprises me. Like Cry, who's the head of, the strongest guild in this fantasy world and seen as like this level 8 adventurer who's just god tier, yet he's just a bumbling idiot that constantly just bluffs and falls upwards into greatness. Like, I love that sort of way they're telling the story and this false illusion that he has around him. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, that's Cry. He's level 8. Oh, he's here now. Oh shit. Like, how does he know all these plans? But he just right place, right time, or just like coincidentally stumbles into the result every single time. So that hasn't got tired after 10 episodes. Tino, his little, pseudo apprentice who calls him master. Every time she calls him master, I go places. She is great. She's a fantastic character. And just the characters, like the ensemble cast is really good. Like, his guild and meeting all of them and their different tropes and personality types and energy levels just really, really melds well together. And it's gorgeously animated. Like, Let This Grieving Soul Retire, top 10 for me this season.
Okay. I'm living vicariously through you on this one because it's not for me, but I'm enjoying hearing about it. I like the premise of, recently we've had a bit of a trope of these kind of fantasy animes where someone's like, I'm done adventuring, like, let me out. And, for whatever reason they can't. I kind of like that trope because when moving away from I'm the strongest because X.
Yeah, and like he's not really strong at all. Like he's just used money from the guild to buy like relics to like power himself up. So he's got all like these rings on and stuff that can do things. And yeah, it's just an easy, enjoyable watch. It's a lot better than The Greatest Talker, which was sort of another anime similar ilk that's sort of a little few steps behind, I think, on Let This Grieving Soul Retire. But yeah, it's enjoyable. Before we jump into what we always sort of end on as far as what we've been watching or consuming this week, I also wanted to shout out Omniscient Reader, which is one of the biggest manhwas doing the rounds. I'm a little late to the party on this one, but during the week I was sort of flicking on my iPad trying to find something to read, and everything I'm reading I'm like up to date waiting for new chapters to drop. So I'm like, God damn it, what am I going to do? And I had this in my queue for a while. I'm like, all right, let's check it out. Let's see. I haven't read a manhwa apart from Solo Leveling. I hear it is very Solo Leveling-esque, which it is. But again, like I think one thing that sets some of these manhwa apart is the art style. The fact that usually it's full color as well. Like it's so much more visually stimulating than some manga, which is sometimes a little bit more primitive in the artistic styling. But I fully get why there's so much hype around this title. I'm excited to see the anime adaptation in the next couple of years because it feels like it's got potential to be as big as a Solo Leveling when it hits the screens.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I love that manhwa, because it usually starts as like a webcomic. We do get the full color, and I think it's really done well for reading on a phone or an iPad. Yeah.
It is like you do get the adjustment of, swiping south to north instead of, east to west. But apart from that, yeah, it's gorgeous. And like the way they explain the power, the world, the characters, the combat, like it is all fantastic. So yeah, Omniscient Reader is sick. I'm in.
Amazing. All right. Let's talk about episode 11 of Dandadan. Once again, for the 11th week in a row, this show just delivers and it's fantastic. And every time Turbo Granny shows up doing her little dance with the hairdryer, I'm like, no, how could it end this episode here?
Especially because they've got such aggressive cut points on these episodes where it feels like there's going to be another scene and they're just like, no, this is it. No. And you're just like, you got me again, Science Saru, you son of a bitch.
Literally.
Episode 11 was great. Obviously, we got introduced very briefly to Gigi at the end of episode 10. We find out that Gigi was, Momo's, earliest childhood friend and first crush. So straight away, we're like, oh, there's the stakes. What's going to happen? We roll straight into episode 11. We're getting some more explanation about, Gigi's coming to stay. Okarun very, very jealous and upset, but also very defeated very quickly. He's just like, whoa, Gigi's so cool. He's like this tall, handsome guy. He's got earrings. We know that earrings is a sexy trait, as per confirmed by Courtney here. And so Okarun's sort of like, yeah, I'm out. I can't compete. Momo, have fun with your childhood crush. I'm on to wallow in misery by myself. So it's got some really sad notes this episode.
He kind of does that, but then at the same time, he's like, all right, I'm just going to hit the gym. Like, I'm going to bulk up. I'm going to get strong. And then, whatever happens. He, I think he still obviously cares about Momo, but I think he's focusing on himself, which is good. That's good and healthy. At the same time, though, so I love Gigi. I love how chaotic he is. He goes into the classroom and he's like, I'm Gigi. And everyone's like, all the girls are like, wow. And all the guys are like, oh my God. Yeah. Like,
he's big energy, such big energy. Yeah. And it's like big energy all the time. And it's so funny going from hearing Alex Lee as Sun Jinu in Solo Leveling and that more grizzled, grounded, like I'm fighting for my life and the universe to, hi, I'm GD. Like it's such a stark contrast, but it just works. Like I've obviously read all the manga, so I know this character in static panel form, and I sort of had visualizations and like I guess how he would sound, and I think how he's portrayed by Alex. I haven't watched the sub version yet, so I can't sort of speak to how that kind of energy is with the Japanese vocal track, but it is like exactly how I imagined him to be.
Yeah, I think it's very, very similar in the sub. It's very, very high energy, very high pitched and obnoxious, and I love it. So we get that. And then I think it's also funny, Momo's grandma, she's kind of sitting there and she's feeding him, and he keeps going, oh, you're cooking so good, like you're so cool, your house is so nice, and she keeps going, yep, you're a genius, please continue. Yes, oh, I can't believe you're such a genius, Gigi. Like that is hilarious. So this dynamic of this childhood friend, and he knows everyone, and then he's like, oh, I can see ghosts. And at first I was like, is he just messing around? But then he sees Okarun in the transformed version, and he's like, oh my god, what is that? Yeah, this creature. So we know that he can in fact see ghosts. Also, this transformation sequence of Okarun had my heart pounding because he's not wearing the jacket, he's just wearing the shirt, but he's got the sleeves rolled up, and that sent me.
Yeah, you must have felt very conflicted this episode. Your two main Dandadan squeezers getting a lot of airtime. Obviously, we know you're an Okarun stan until Gigi rolled in last week, and then Okarun got thrown out in the rubbish with the empty sushi trays that Granny Seiko purchased for them last episode as well. So I'm still very, very upset that you've shifted allegiances so quick, but I knew when we saw that transformation and like the sleeves rolled up, it's like, it's time for business type of thing. Sleeves are up. He's chasing after Momo and Gigi because they're chasing after a possessed anatomical model that appears in this episode. And you're like, what? And this anatomical model is running all over the school, running all the way to like the rubbish dump to find a fellow anatomical model. We find out that it's his love interest or his partner that's been thrown out in the trash because she's an old model, like an old version of the anatomical model that is no longer relevant. So there's love in the air everywhere, but the chase scene is awesome. Like obviously Momo's using her psychic powers to hold on to this guy, and they're just getting dragged like whiplashed across town. And then Okarun is chasing them in the Turbo Granny form as well, and it's gorgeously animated, crazy, frenetic. And then you've also got Gigi sort of social commentarying in the background as this is all happening. And then like Okarun is piggybacking both of them at the end, and it's a good time.
Yeah, they find out that this anatomical model has the other golden ball, the other Kintama. So hopefully they can get it, but Momo ends up stealing the heart of the model and she punches it on instinct, and every time she does, he like screams. And she's like, I know where he is. And it's just a scream. And this whole episode, this whole chase scene was so funny. Like I was sitting there trying to eat my dinner and just like cackling. It was a very, very funny episode. It
was funny right from the rip as well. And even like we don't get much Ira airtime in this episode. We get a few minutes at the start where she's then realized, oh, Momo, you've got another evil person here. Like this guy can see ghosts. Like you're just sort of recruiting all these bad people. So then she's like, I'm out of here. I got to go train and get ready to save the world, losers. And pew, like sort of almost like dust cloud runs the way out of the house. And she's just the best. She's so great. Her little facial animations just kill me every single time.
So funny. And isn't next week the last episode?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that took me by surprise, because I thought this episode would have progressed a bit further to where in my head we'd see this season end. But we've got 20 odd minutes to wrap this first season up. Luckily, the rumor mill is very strong that season 2 is going to be coming out in our winter / American summer. So I've only got 7 or so months to wait potentially to get more. But where I think this is going to end is going to be a good cliffhanger, because we do see when Gigi's mentioning, I see ghosts, we see a flash of this yokai called the Evil Eye, which is a terrifying son of a bitch. And so I think we'll get more of that. Ooh. And the house that he was staying in before he left, which is, a very haunted place, which was alluded to in this episode too. So it's going to end on a bit of a spooky note, I think.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, there's some bad people in this arc that we'll sort of probably dig more into in season 2. But there's some more like heavy, unsettling moments to come. And some humor. A lot of humor.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. But Courtney, that brings us to the official end of episode 28 of More Than Headlines. Anything you wanted to mention or shout out before we close the Segoy Studio down for the third last time for 2024?
I have burned into my brain the image of transformed Okarun with rolled up sleeves, and that will be helping me get to sleep at night for the next week. How about you?
Yeah, I wanted to shout out to our fantastic mascot, Chio. So we have a mascot now for Sakura Society. You can see bandied about on our socials, or you can just head to sakurasociety.co. You can see there front and center. And while you're there, obviously sakurasociety.co/vote to get your vote in for the 2024 Hennies, the region's largest entirely fan-driven anime awards. And doing so can put you in the draw to win your share of over $2,000 worth of prizes from our friends at Audio Technica, the Otaku Box, and Ice-T Aesthetics. So do that. sakurasociety.co/vote. The voting will take you maximum 2 minutes. It's really easy to do. You can do it from your smartphone, from your desktop, from your laptop, from your tablet, whatever. It's nice and responsive, and it's just a couple of clicks. And if you want to go in the draw to win some stuff, be sure to put your name and the social handle where we can reach you to announce should you win.
Well...
Yeah. But other than that, be sure to rate, review, subscribe this podcast on all the traditional podcast platforms. Sadly, Apple and Spotify only accept 5 stars and above. We don't make the rules, but them's the rules. And if you're checking us out in video form, which is on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, you can find us at the Sakura SOC on those platforms. Chuck a sneaky little comment on those videos if you do see them as well, even if it's just like a little emoji, or what you ate for breakfast that day, or what you're going to watch later, because those little comments help keep us in and around that algorithm and keeps us trending and gets more eyes on our content. So you're at the Sakura SOC on all the socials and YouTube. If you can do that, that would be fantastic. But Courtney, whether your anime be subbed, dubbed, or still yet to come, enjoy yourself, and much love to all the gorgeous waifus and husbandos out there. Goodbye.
Mata ne.